ones. How are we doing today? What the fuck is this show? A Saturday course breakdown show? No one's ever thought to do course breakdown shows. I know I've got to be only the 12,000th person to do this, but you know what? People don't give a shit about the retrospective, so I'm going to do a course breakdown along with contest selection and initial pricing because everything's out for the Masters. So that's what this show is, and you know, this is a big week for the channel because this is my first time ever doing the Masters. Yeah, my channel's not even a year old, you motherfather. Excited to be covering the Masters. A little. If you're like, hey, you can't play that music in the intro. First of all, that was the guitar, and that was not the exact same notes. It's not the piano, so hopefully they don't copyright my ass. If they do, you can have the $0.00 I get from this video. Okay, so, you know, fucking sue me. Actually, don't, because you're some stuffy bastards at the Augusta, and they probably would sue me, okay? So don't sue me. I'm sorry. I'll take it down. I won't. I don't give a shit. Okay. What's up, new guy? I'm the Degenerate75. I am a PGA DFS content creator who is, I'm going to tell you, if you're hate watching me this week, you're going to want to jump off a bridge because you're going to see this a whole lot. First of all, if you're hate watching me, quit being a fucking loser neckbeard. Second of all, check out this schedule if you do like the cut of my jib because I'm going to be putting out so much content. A lot of it's already out. You can see the best ball strategy show's already out. I did Showdown Hoedown last night for round 3. I don't know how relevant that is. We were doing Showdown Hoedown round 4 tonight. I'm going to be releasing my pod with David Barnett talking mainly about the Masters tomorrow. The retrospective video that says Monday, I said, fuck it, I'm putting it out today. It's Saturday. And I will be doing live best ball drafts and, of course, the emergency stream Wednesday. Be there for that best ball draft. I know you're like, I don't know what best ball is. What is underdog? Okay, first of all, quit fucking talking like that. Second of all, trust me on this. This is the future. This is what people are going to get into. It's like season-long golf without all the bullshit. No waivers, no nothing. You get the fun of looking at, you get the fun of sweating majors. You get the fun of winning a ton of money, and you don't have to like go pick guys up off waivers and stupid shit like that. You draft your team, you get the excitement of a draft, and then you're done, right? You just make a good, well thought out drafted team, and then you have a chance to sweat and be sweating $100,000 at the Open Championship. And let me tell you, people don't know what they're doing at this shit. I've done a couple drafts, and they are morons. If you're like, but I don't even know where to start, don't worry, bro. I got everything you need. I've got how-to videos, live drafts over on my website. I've got the cheat sheet, everything you need, who's qualified for what majors. I've taken all the sweatiness out of it. Be there Tuesday night. If you're there in the live chat, I will draw you. You can play drafts with me. I'll split the profits with you 50-50. And if you don't know, the big guy will give away some money. Let's get to the course breakdown. If you don't know, they're playing this little course called Augusta National. Lovely course. It's on the Masters rotation. Last year it was Augusta. The year before that was Augusta. I'm kidding, fucking new guy. They only play one course. That's what's unique about this major is it's the only major that's played on one single course. All the other majors are on a rotation. # Rota if you're a European. Look at me being a cultured man. This course is, well, I mean, depending on the year, it's typically a tough course. It's definitely long and hard. It reaches out to almost 7,500 yards with the extra yardage they added on 13 this year, which is the awesome par 5 that bends around the corner there on Amen Quarter. So with that, it's almost 7,500 yards. It's a par 72 with 4 par 3s, 4 par 5s, right? But where this course really shows its teeth, are its green complexes and its long, difficult par 4s. That is, there's bogeys all over those motherfathers, okay? And occasionally guys can find the water on 12, # Jordan Spieth. Guys can find the water on 17. And guys on 15, there's a little bit of water damage too, both long and short on that par 5, right? So there is some water. There's big numbers lingering out there, but really what this course does, in my opinion, is it's death by 1,000 cuts, right? It's just constant difficult hole after difficult hole. You can see of all the holes on this course, only 4 of them play under par. Not surprisingly, it's all the par 5s, right? Those are the only courses that play under par. Even the short third, it's an even par course. So there's not a lot of birdies. I mean, there's birdies to be made, but there's more bogeys out there than there are birdies. I would expect the winning score this year with the increased length, with them wanting to, protect they don't want a -20 score at the Masters. So I would guess that the winning score will probably be around -12. If they get rain, there's no wind. Yeah, it might get up to 18 or something like that. But if we have any winds, the course is dry at all. And trust me, Augusta has every tool you need to make the course exactly like they want. They will be able to make this course difficult, okay? So when I'm looking at the course, the big thing I take away is this right here. You have 6 par 4s. Actually, you have 7 of them that range over 445 or longer, right? Even more if you count 440. So a 440 or longer, that is going to be 8 of the par 4s range in at that. Those are long par 4s, even if you hit a good solid drive out there, right? And you got to remember, a lot of these are dog legs, so you can't just say, well, they hit at 330, so they'll have a wedge in. It don't work like that, Bob. Okay, some of them are straight away, and you can, if you hit a nice driver down the middle of the fairway, you will probably have 110, 120 in, okay? But a lot of these are going to be 3 woods off the tee because of the dog legs, and so the most common distance that you're going to see is you're going to need guys who have good mid to long irons. There's going to be a ton of shots from that 150 plus range, right? 150 to 175, 175 to 200. And there's going to be plenty of shots, 200 plus, especially on the par 5s and the really long par 4s, okay? So what I value this week is, I'm going to be valuing second shots. That's the most important thing, okay? That's not rocket science. But the one thing about the Masters is it is pretty wide open off the tee. There is a lot of room to miss. I mean, Jordan Spieth has been a sprayer off the tee for his whole career, and the guy's got it this course, okay? So that should let you know that you don't have to be the most accurate off the tee. Matter of fact, as we'll see in just a minute, I would prioritize distance off of the tee as opposed to accuracy. And you'll see in just a minute that the stats bear that out, man. The stats bear it out. As you can see, the historical cut line, it has never actually been even or below par. The cut line is always above par, and part of the reason for that is simple. There's only 88 guys officially in the field, might be 89 depending on who wins the Valero Texas Open, and of that, like 20 of them are fucking slapdick amateurs and guys like that are 100 years old wearing suspenders out there, okay? So there's really only 70 legit players, and top 50 and ties make the cut. The plus 10 rule's gone. But say that, if it's top 50 and ties, you would expect something like 55, 56 guys to make the cut. 56 of the 70 guys with a pulse make the cut. That's literally 80% of the field makes the cut, okay? So, of course, you're going to have a very high cut score when that many people are making the cut. So this week, I think, and that's an important thing to remember, because when it comes to contest selection this week, or contest strategy, building lineups, I think you really, really want to make stands. You got to make stands this week, because I'll tell you, the Masters of all of the tournaments all year is the biggest pay-the-rate tournament all year. Everybody gets FOMO. I got to have a little bit of this guy. Got to have a little bit of this guy. Got to have a little bit of this guy. And what you end up doing is you get a whole bunch of guys that, might have nice finishes, but because you didn't commit to anybody, you don't have real nice lineups. You have a bunch of okay lineups, and all that does is you min cash a bunch of shit, and you're paying the rake while other people are winning all the money. So I really encourage you this week to make your stands, okay? I know there's like 7 guys over the top I want to play too, but you can't play them all. So, and at the Masters with everybody making the cut, I think it's all the more reason to make a stand, and hope that your guy outscores everybody else in his range. Driving accuracy, as you see, is more common here. It's significantly higher here than it is for the tour average, and that's largely just due to wide open fairways, right? However, the greens and regulation percentage is lower because there's tons of runoff areas. There's tons of places that with these elevated greens that if you don't hit it exactly where you need, that ball is going to run off. And there's shaved greens, so there's shaved fringes, so it will roll off very far, Bob. I mean very far. And as you can see, it's not the easiest course to scramble around. So I want guys that are accurate, not accurate off tee. I don't really care that much about tee. If I'm gonna pick, I would say driving. But I want guys who are long iron specialists and who can get up and down. Okay, who can save a par, who can put it in the bunker on a par 5, get up and down for a birdie. That's what I'm gonna be focused on, right? Bryson smashes it. Okay, well that's not a negative. I don't mind that, but like that is not my priority this week. And I think that the stats bear that out. Matter of fact, let's go over here to Data Golf and let's look at some of the statistics from last year. First of all, you can see this course played 2 shots over par per round last year. That's not easy, Bob. Not easy. The course is going to probably play around 7,500 yards. It says 7,447 there, but you got to remember they added some distance. The driving distance a little bit longer here. The driving accuracy much higher here than we see at most courses. But I'm really looking at this shot distribution. As I told you earlier, the number one distance that you're going to be seeing people hit approaches from is that 150 to 175 range. And if you want to go, you got to get the Masters app this week, because if you're using the PGA Tour app, there's no shot link data. PGA normally does that, so we have strokes gain data to see who's picking up off the tee, approach, around the green, all of that. We won't have that this week because there's no shot link there. Fortunately, the Masters are some rich fucks and actually have a really great app, and they will be tracking all the shots. You'll be able to see he has 9 feet and 8 inches for par. You'll be able to see that. Problem is, it's not traditional strokes gain data, so you have to calculate it separately, okay? Data Golf does that over here. So that's how we know how many shots came in from what distances, whereas a lot of majors, we don't get to see that. Also, what's the second highest distance? Of the plurality, it would be 175 to 200. So right there, that consists of almost 40% of all your approach shots are going to fall in that 150 to 200 yard range. Okay, I know for me that's a 3-wood, but for a lot of these guys, that's just a nice mid to long iron, just like I told you, right? And yes, 200 plus is also going to be a big distance. So this is why I'm focusing so much. You know, great wedge players, that's nice. There will be some holes where you will get to hit a wedge in, but I'm going to be focusing on mid to long irons because I think that's going to be important to scoring on those difficult par fours. But more than that, I think it's going to be important for those greens in regulation on those difficult par fours. And if you don't want to know what a green in regulation is on a par four, that's where you hit 2 shots and you're on the green. Now all you got to do is 2-putt and you make a par. And on those long difficult par fours this week, you're not trying to birdie them, you're trying to survive them. And as you'll see, that the greens in regulation this week, super important, Bob. Let's go look at last year. I'm going to put all the stats on here. I hope you can see it over my big fucking dome. If you go sort by greens in regulation, look at this. Every guy who finished top in the greens in regulation was basically top 23 or better, right? No surprise. If you hit the ball on the green, you have a hard time fucking up. Isn't that a novel concept? So I'm really going to be targeting ball strikers who are good at greens in regulation on difficult courses, right? And then, on top of that, I'm also going to be looking at guys that are good at fast putting, because if you don't know, these courses, these greens at Augusta, they're lightning fast. I mean, lightning fast. Maybe the fastest greens we see all year. So I need guys on in green in regulation. That's 1 shot on a par 3, 2 shots on a par 4, or 3 shots on a par 5. Because when you do that, usually the worst you're going to do is a par, unless you're me, because I 3-jack a lot. So greens in regulation is just something I am super prioritizing this year, especially on difficult par 4s. I feel like that is going to be what separates guys who can actually go win this from guys who shit the bed and disappear. Look at this one, driving accuracy. Guys who had great driving accuracy last year, well, the results didn't really seem to correlate, right? Cut, 14th, 30th, cut. Not a lot of great correlation there. But if I go search by driving distance, I see a 10th, a 2nd, a 14th, a cut, a 6th, a 35th, a 14th. So right there, that would already tell me that driving distance seems to be more correlated to success than does driving accuracy. But at the same time, I wouldn't say either of those are super, super important, right? This is why I'm not prioritizing off the tee this week. I don't hate it, but it's also not going to be like, oh my God, he hits the ball far, gotta play him. It's not going to be like that, dude. Other things to look at, tee to green. Obviously, if you're good tee to green, you're going to have good results, right? Tee to green, new guy, is off the tee, around the green, and approach all equaled up. And if you're doing all 3 of those things well, and you can handle lightning greens, that's the only way to win the Masters. You're going to have to be playing well tee to green, and you have to not 3-jack on fast greens, okay? You got to not run your birdie putt by 8 feet and have a comebacker downhill winding, okay? So I want tee to green guys. If you find somebody who's killing it tee to green recently, they're doing well in the ball striking with around the green, and they do well on lightning greens, I think those are the kind of guys that will be my priority target. Problem is, there's not a lot of guys that do that, okay? If there were a lot of guys that do that, they'd probably fucking win every tournament, dude. All right, from there, off the tee, as you can see, was not very much, somewhat correlated. If you do well off the tee, it doesn't hurt, but it was not near as correlated to success as the guys. Look at this. If you were good on approach last year, it basically meant that you had a top 15, right? You were in, okay? Around the green, some of the guys who did well around the green, you want to do well around the green, okay? It is important to save pars. But at the same time, if you're in the bunker every fucking hole, it doesn't matter how good you are around the green, because if you're trying to save par every hole, you got to score. You got to score on the par 5s. You need to score on 3. You need to score on, 16 little par 3? You need to score on those holes, okay? And then lastly, putting. As you can see, putting was only mildly correlated to success last year, which isn't always the case, okay? So this is why I'm saying it's a second shot course. Specifically, it is a long second shot course, okay? So that is the basic breakdown of the course. If you want to know, just in case, those par 5s do tend to be a little bit on the longer side. You're only going to be able to get there in 2 if you're bombing drives out there, so that's where I think driving distance can really help with scoring. And the par 3s, you got one that's super long, but the other ones are all pretty mild distance, right? 170, 155, and 180 are not bad par 3s. The 240-yard par 3, number 4, yeah, that's pretty tough, Bob. That's pretty tough. So that's what I'm going to be prioritizing when it comes to the course breakdown, okay? There you go. Hey, did you know this will be out tomorrow? That's David Barnett right there. Episode 3 of Season 2 of my pod, Degenerate 75 Talks Golf. Mark it out. Sports people. Sports with smart people. I'll just fucking make it whatever I want. And we talked a lot of the Masters. That will be out tomorrow, so check that out. Put it on your Sunday afternoon while you watch some Texas Open and Switch Showdown lineups. Also, don't forget, the big guy's not a fucking poor. I'm giving away 5 $100 tickets into the Millionaire Maker. You and I will make them. I will submit them. They'll be on me. If you win the drawing, you will make them. I will split the money with you 50-50, which I'm pretty sure $500,000 is $500,000. I'm pretty sure. Let me check the math. Yep, that's right. So you want me to PayPal you $500,000? I'll do it. I did it. I PayPal the guy $10,000 not too long ago. I'll do it for you, motherfather. All you got to do to get in this is simply go like and retweet any of my tweets this week over on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, that's cool. All you got to do is leave a comment on this video telling me who is your favorite play at the Masters this week, and that will also get you in there. We will be doing the drawing live on the emergency stream Wednesday, 7 p.m. Lord's time zone. So be there for that. If you're not there for that, just kick yourself in the dick. Matter of fact, if you're not there, just know that there's a chance you're throwing away $100, okay? You know, well, people only watching because you're giving away money. Maybe, but I'm not a fucking poor. Hashtag living the good life. All right, let's get over to contest selection. If you have not seen the contest for the Masters yet, it's awesome. I mean, the DraftKings, you know, I shit on them last night on the Showdown Hoedown, but you know, they're like that stupid best friend you have. I can't quit you, man. And they really came back. I mean, even the big $15 Millionaire Maker contest is really solid. For a Millionaire Maker, that's pretty good. Rarely do you see second place be 1/4 of what first is in the Millionaire Maker. You hardly ever see that. So the $15, if you want to go play in a lottery, yes, you got to beat 315,000 people. Let me just go ahead and tell you the answer to this test. You're not going to do it. But you want to dream. I get it. You want to dream. We all want to dream, okay? You're not going to do it. But you want to dream. Go play it. It's really not as bad as almost any Millionaire Maker I've ever seen, okay? If you do this, if you're a guy that just comes in and plays the majors year to year, go play in this. Have some fun. I get it. But if you're a grinder like me and like all my sweaty tryhards over on my website, you just don't want to be pumping a lot of money into this. If you're a guy's like, I'm just going to throw my $100 in this week and have some fun, well, then play in it, bro. I get it. I really do. But what I would tell you is there's just such better contests to get your money in that have such better structures that if you do hit a really, really, really good lineup, in this one you could hit a really, really, really good lineup and win $3,000. Whereas that same lineup in another contest would legit win you $25,000. Okay, that's what I'm telling you about. So just think about that. Okay, think about it. All right. From there, the $100 single entry, it's horrific. Yes. Am I playing in it? Yeah. Well, I'm doing a fucking giveaway. I won't be putting, I'll be doing that for my listeners, but I personally will not be putting any of my solo lineups in it. It's just too much money. I mean, look at that. Second place is only 1/10 of first, and 10th place is 1/100th of first. Hey, Polly, tell him. New guy, let's get the fuck out of here. All right, moving on from there, the 222. The 22-22. No one's playing in this. Actually, the structure is better than I thought it would be. But only way I think you should play in this is if you hit a satellite, Bob. Okay. From there, wait. Why are these locked? Am I not on? What am I doing here? Classic? Masters? Am I not on the right thing? Okay. Moving on. This 888, if you're a high limit player, this is what I'm talking about, right? Only 20% to first. What is that? 62.5% of second goes to first goes to second. You got to love that. And 10th place is 1/20th of first. That's a really good contest. This is what I'm talking about. I'm going to blow so much money this week because the contests are structured so well that I want to play in these motherfathers. The $200 single entries are typically great, but I do want to show you there's 3 major $200 single entries this week, right? You got there's 4 of them. Jesus. All right, let's go. And you can see this first one. Notice this. This is important. If you're like, well, I don't know which $200 single entry to play in. Well, I'm here to help you, new guy. Look at this one. This is the main one, right? $200,000 driver. 25% up top, and then look how quickly that fizzles out. Only 40% of second to first, and 10th place is only 1/25th. Whereas if you go and look at the secondary contest, yes, it's only 200,000. I clicked on the wrong one. That was the secondary. The primary is the 500,000, and notice only 20% goes to first as opposed to 25%, and that means that now second gets half of first, which I've heard is a lot better than 40%, and 10th place now gets 1/20th. Okay, that's better. So if I had to play in one of these, I like the big one more than I like this one. But even better than that is I would go look at this third one and notice, once again, $100,000 prize pool, only 20,000 to first, 10,000 to second, so that's half, and 10th place is 1/20th. So it's basically just a miniature format of that big one. And then there's even a little mini one here, which is that same format also. So they're even when it's they're all $200 single entries, it's the same thing. No, they're not. I'd rather play in the biggest one, the third one, and the fourth one. And the last one I'd be interested in is playing in the $200,000 one because I don't like 25% to first, Bob. 20 is my cutoff. You can never go wrong with a $100 single entry. I mean, just look at this. First place is 1/10. Second place is 70% of first, and 10th is 1/10 of first. That's perfect. That is perfect. That is, if you're playing $100 this week, new guy, make one fucking lineup you like and go put it in that. I'm telling you, you'll have such a better sweat, and you'll actually have a chance to win a GPP because you ain't winning the main one. You're not gonna do it, dude. I got my 6 lineups in there. You're not gonna do it. From there. If you want to play some cash this week, go ahead. I'd rather just throw that money at Showdown, dude. Let's see. What else do we have out there? Obviously, there'll probably be more get posted, but I love these $33 single entries. They're such good contests. They have multiple ones of them out there. They're so good. I feel like I'm skipping over some. Where's my 4max 250, you motherfather? These aren't even sorting by total prizes. What are you, fucking amateur? What are we doing here? All right, back to this. Oh, the big $5 this week. I mean, I love this. Look at this. 800,000 to first, or prize pool. 100,000 to first. So that's only 12.5%. I'm in. Second place, half of that. 10th place is 133rd, which for the big $5 ain't bad, Bob. Yes, you got to beat 190,000 people, but you could realistically throw 150 lineups in this and just be in for $750 for the week, which is a lot of money, but it's not like, like you got to remortgage your house if you're a mid-level player. I love this 4max 250. They've been putting this up recently. I'm in. Only 20%. Give it to me. For a lot of you that play at a casual level, I think that this $3 max is the nuts. Look at this. $200,000 prize pool. We have that great structure I'm always talking about. 10% to first. Second is half of that. And 10th is 1/10. You got to love it, Bob. The $12 single entry. My baby. The $10 18 max. You got to love this one. Only 10% to first. Look at that. Just a great payout structure. $180. You can max enter the contest. Why it's so important to max enter the contest is you don't want to be giving up leverage to other guys. If you go throw your 15 lineups in the big Millie Maker, just know that there will legit be 200 or 300 guys this week that max enter that, and you do not want to be playing pros who have 150 lineups, and you're like, I've got my 6. You don't want to do it, dude. You don't want to do it. Okay. Whereas if you go playing that, the $10 18 max, they can only enter 18, and so can you. They might be better players than you, but at least you got the same number of lineups, so they don't have double leverage on you, bruh. Moving on. These little 3 maxes are so good. The $150 3 max, the $1 20 max is great. If the $3 20 max is too much for you, check out the $1 20 max, the $5 single entry. I've already told you how much I love these $33 and $12 single entries. The $20 3 max. These 3 maxes and single entries are so good because you can max enter. And by the way, max enter means for a single entry is 1 and for a 3 max is 3. So you can max enter them very easily without putting hundreds or thousands of dollars into these contests. That's why I love them so much. A $3 3 max, an $8 3 max, the $44 club twirl, and all the fucking satellites you could ever want, okay? If you're going to blow money this week, this is a fun week to chase satellites, okay? You got all the Fantasy Golf World Championship tickets out there to go chase, and those are amazing. They are. But hear me. That's the most negative EV tournaments on the board, okay? You should only be playing in those if you are up a lot of money or you want to blow some money, okay? Maybe you just got a big inheritance. Okay, we'll go blow it on satellites. But just know, those are very negative EV tournaments. Instead of playing in those satellites, I would say save it for Showdown because there's going to be a big edge to be had. Round 2, Round 3, Round 4 Showdown. And I know a guy that does a show called The Showdown Hoedown, and you might enjoy it. All right, from there, let's get to it. Let's go talk about some initial pricing. I've made a point to not really dive into this pricing yet. So this is all relatively new to me. Yes, I've glanced at it, but I have not memorized them. Right off the bat, I see 3 guys just way ahead of everybody, which you had to assume. I thought there would be 5 guys over 10,000. To only see 3 is slightly surprising. But I guess once you consider that these 3 guys have been playing noticeably better than everybody, it's not that surprising. Scotty Scheffler over 11,000 makes me so happy because if they would have made him 10,500, he'd legit be like 35% owned. At least when you put him at 11,100 and you put Rahm at 10.8, people can't double stack these guys. Because if you start with those 2 guys, you only have 7,000 left for your last 4 spots, which basically is equivalent to 4 fucking punts. And yes, Scheffler and Rahm are amazing, and I get why you'd want to play them together, but DraftKings is saying, you want to play them together? Well, I got bad news. You got to play 4 punts now. And you don't want to play 4 punts in a lineup, especially if you're a 3 max or a single entry guy. That is such a bad build. So basically, DraftKings is telling you, when it comes to Scheffler, Rahm, and Rory, you're picking one of those motherfathers and you're moving on. Okay? That's it. Which I really appreciate. That is good pricing there. But then when you see the 4th guy drops all the way down to 9,800, that's insane. Okay, this pricing after the top 3 is what we call baby shit soft pricing, okay? Because it is softer than you could ever imagine. Cam Smith at 9,800, I think you're going to get a discount on him just because he's a live guy, okay? I think he's the one live guy that will get ownership, but I still think that he will be discounted. Spieth's course history here is unbelievable, but man, 9,700? Like, Spieth is ahead of Cantlay, Thomas, Homa, Morikawa, Xander's 9,000? Mother father. Okay, so I think Spieth is overpriced. They're really pricing in his course history here, so you might be able to get a discount. And you know what? Let me tell you a little secret. I will play the Jordan Spieth if no one wants to play him, okay? Because here's the rule on Jordan Spieth. Everybody plays him, you fuck off. If nobody's playing him, you're all in. It works for me every time, except when it doesn't. Patrick Cantlay at 95. Okay, Thomas at 93. Okay, Homa has terrible course history here, right? I think he's played here 3 times. Not good, Bob. But I think he's just a different player. At 9,200, that seems like a really nice second piece in your lineup, right? If you want to start with, whoever, fucking loser Rory, you do it. And then the next guy in your lineup's Homa. That ain't a bad start to a lineup, Bob. Xander at 9,000 is just ridiculously underpriced. I think he is going to be mega chalk. Finau seems fairly priced at 8,900. I don't think anybody's going to want to play Dustin at 88. We haven't seen him in forever. The last time we did see him, he wasn't exactly in great form. I can't imagine people are going to want to pay for that. Jason Day seems a little overpriced at 8,700. I can't believe they have Day ahead of guys like Young and Hovland. And Zalatoris is 8,200? Oh, my God. If he wasn't such an injury-prone bitch, he would legit be 35% this week. But I think the whole, hip is going to scare some people off. Victor Hovland, Decky. This is, man, I can go ahead and tell you, Decky and Burns are going to be the 2 big pivots in this range, right? And maybe even Zalatoris. This low 8 range, like, these are 3 guys. Decky, Burns, and Zalatoris are guys that can win the Masters, and I think you're going to get them all at a discount just because of their form and or injury concerns, right? Sungjae, very fairly priced at 8,100. Terrell Hatton, he was going to be chalk, 7,900 Hatton, but like missing the cut at Texas Open, I think that's going to hurt his ownership. Matter of fact, it only makes me like him more, dude. Get your crusty ass over to Augusta, cheer the fuck up, and start practicing. Joaquin Niemann, I think, is going to be very popular at 7,800. He would be the only other guy other than Cam Smith that I could see getting some real ownership from the Live Group. Let's see. Brooks Koepka. Not a soul is going to play Brooks. Bryson at 75 just seems a little too cheap to me. I've already heard people talking up Minwoo and Connors, and I think they're both fairly priced. That's about what I think they should be, 7,600. You go play them. I'll go play fucking Bryson. Tigala, Keegan, good fits. Abraham Answer is the dude I love at the Masters. If he can be the 4th or 5th guy in your lineup, how do you not like that lineup? And the fact that he's a live guy, I think you're going to get an ownership discount. Tiger Woods, I think he's going to be great for a round 2, maybe 3. I just don't think he has it in him to get around Augusta for 4 rounds. So I'm just going to let people play him at 12% and pay the rake. That's my theory, Bob. Louis. Oh my God. Louis at 7,200. Should I just go ahead and give my money away now? Mito at 72 seems very fair. Keith Mitchell at 7,100. Let me go ahead and warn you. That's going to be chalky as fuck. I just know it. 7,100 Keith Mitchell. People love the fucking visor. They love it. They're going to play him. Who's the $6,000 asshole that everybody's going to have to play? All these guys seem appropriate so far. No one's going to play the Hobbit. Get out of here. Ryan Fox, if he shit the bed at the Texas Open, so I doubt it will be him. Damn, who is it going to be? HV3, no chance coming over from. Who the hell is everybody? Is there not like the obvious 6K donkey chalk this week? How refreshing. How refreshing, DraftKings, to not shit the bed for once, making pricing. I'm proud of you. I literally don't see anybody down here. If I had to guess who's going to be the most popular guy in the 6Ks, I'm going to assume it's Seamus Power. He seems like the guy that would probably, a lot of people would be very comfortable. I'll put Seamus in as my 6th guy. He feels safe. First of all, if you're playing a GPP, who the fuck gives anything about safe, okay? I want guys that are going to go get top 5 or burn in flames, all right? So, I would guess it would be Seamus. Bubba, I've heard he has a pretty good course history here. So I've heard. Sergio at 7,000. How the mighty have fallen. So my big takeaways from this pricing is you only getting one of those top 3 in there. The second thing I'm taking away is these $6,000 guys, people aren't going to want to dive down there. So I think you're going to see a lot of balanced lineups. I think a lot of people are going to start Cam Smith, Patrick Cantlay, Xander, right? And what would that leave you? If you start Cam Smith, Cantlay and Xander, which is a tremendous start to a team, right? You still have 7,200 left for your last 3. If you're willing to put one punt in there, like that Seamus Power, all of a sudden you can get right back up to the mid-7s. You can easily go get that Corey Connors chalk that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, right? Or whatever dipshit play you want to play, right? If it were me, I'd go grab me some Bryson. Mm-hmm. All right, so I think that that's going to be a very common build this week, which might suppress the ownership of these top 3 because these guys, the top 3 guys' ownership can't be runaway this week just because of how price prohibitive they are and what it's going to make you do to your lineup. If you play one of these guys in your lineups, you're going to basically have to play 4 7K guys with them, right? Maybe if you want to drop a 6K guy in there, you can get back up to the 8Ks and just play 3 7K guys. The second thing is this 9K range, these are too good of players to be priced at this. I would say Spieth is a little overpriced, but Cantlay, Thomas, Homa, Morikawa, Schauffele are all underpriced in my opinion. They're all underpriced, and I think people are going to love to just come get some Cam Young and Victor Hovland. They just seem a hair too inexpensive. I would have Cam Young. I would have Victor at $9,000. I'd have Cam Young at about $8,900. That's where I would have probably priced him if I were doing this, but I know what I'm doing, so I don't get to do that. And then, of course, I think we already know who the two chalk donkeys in the 7,000s are going to be. So I think you're going to see more hybrid builds. Most people will grab one of these guys, so I would be very shocked if you see any of these guys get very much over 20%. So if you love Scheffler, Rahm, or Rory this week, I think you fucking make your stand, you go all in on them, maybe 60, 70% of your lineups, really make a stand on them, and hope they outperform those other top three guys. And then you also hope that all these 9K guys just have okay results and not break the slate results. And I think that's going to be it. Because this week, with so many people making the cut, it's going to be about roster composition. What can you do to make your lineup different than everybody else's, right? It can be done in several ways. First of all, you can do it by fading the chalk. Second of all, you can leave some money on the table. Or third, you can just think, how are people the average person going to construct their roster, right? And I think it's going to be one of these top three, or they're going to grab three of these 9K guys. That'll be the two most common. So maybe you do something different. Okay, maybe you do something different than all those guys, and you construct your rosters differently than everybody else. And doing that is the way that you get different this week. And being different this week will be so key with so many people making it. You're going to have a lineup that's going to be a 6 of 6. You're going to be like, I am got a big sweat. And then by Sunday, it fucking doesn't even cash. Okay, because with so many people making the cut, the sweat doesn't even really start till the leaders are on 9 on Sunday. With most of the people off there, right? Because there'll be so many live lineups this week. So remember that. Also, don't forget to save some money for Showdown. Oh, yeah. And don't forget to come check out my site, dgen75.com. If you don't know, it is the fastest growing community in DFS. We're also doing best ball. We're also doing pick'ems. We're doing everything you need over there. We win a lot. Got quite the community. Love it over there. No toxic fucks. Just positivity. What a concept. And lastly, I have the best tool in all of PGA DFS called the Rosetta Stone. I have it for Showdown, both round 3 and round 4. And of course, I will have it for week long, aka kicking the nuts. And if you need to make good decisions based on want to make informed decisions but don't have 20 hours a week to be a sweaty tryhard and don't understand all these fucking random numbers that sites throw at you, the Rosetta Stone is indispensable. Lastly, don't forget to come check out that live stream Tuesday night. I'm telling you, best ball is so much fun. Okay, make sure to use my little code right here, degenerate75, and you will get 100% a deposit match up to $100. Okay, and if you do that, you get a free week on my website. So that's pretty cool. And what a week to be on there, because I've heard it's the Masters. Let's go. Which, if you like the Masters, trust me, bro, you're going to like this outro.